Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Pisces for November 2016. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, see what is new on my blog, and if you're interested in being a life coach, a business coach, anything like that, maybe you will love my new course that will be enrolling in January, and you can get first dibs on open slots when you send me an email on my site, anniehelpsyou.com. So what's going on in November? Oh gosh, well, only the best year of the month for launches ever. In 2016, we've had so much personal planetary retrograde action that November is the only month that all days in the month do not have any personal planet retrograde or any shadow period retrograde. October had some wonderful days for launches, and you can listen to my October report for that. And actually, even starting from September 26th through October into November is our big time to launch, to move things forward, to make big decisions, to take action, to get clarity. So we've got lots of good vibe energy going on this month, lots. And for Pisces, there are these aspects that run all through the month of November are bringing opportunities in certain specific sectors. Work, career, life purpose, travel, long distance travel, different countries, different cultures, different languages, publishing, teaching, and learning are all sectors that are very active in your chart this month. When the aspects occur, these sweet aspects that are mostly happening involving the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, when these aspects or mathematical combinations of planets come together, it's like they send kisses to this area of your chart. And those kisses come with potentials. So some of the energy is just good energy that will come in regardless of what you do. But a lot of the energy comes in an angle, a 60-degree angle, which requires action in order to make the most of the opportunity. So it's like you have a potential sitting in front of you and it feels good that it's there, but if you don't do anything with it to activate it, you don't get the full benefit of the transit. And that's typical of this month, but it works out really well because the month is full of energy that's conducive to moving forward. So another big theme that I see for Pisces this month is help coming from everywhere. The way these aspects are lined up, it's like people in powerful positions, people with resources, companies, organizations, places that finance, money, family, people working behind the scenes for your benefit, people working actively in the front scenes for your benefit. There's so much help available to you. Now, as I say this, it's very important to note that if you have a program from your childhood or even before then that you are not worthy of help, that things have to be hard, or whatever the different stories are that we carry, all of these potentials in the world won't bring the help you need to you and you be in a space to activate it. That's why I focus on the self-development aspect of astrology, because potentials don't mean fruition or activation. They mean that they're sitting there waiting. And so you have to take an active role in your destiny and clear out programs that are interfering with you moving forward. So try to do a little work around that. If you're listening to this before November, try to do a little clearing work on that. I mean, there's so many self-development tools. Some of my favorites are The Presence Process by Michael Brown, EFT, the Emotional Freedom Technique, which is free. You can find all about it online. There are countless ways that you can clear out these programs. If your program happens to be around money, because there is some really good money energy, money and advancement energy in your chart, then there's a fantastic book called Tapping into Wealth by Margaret Lynch. I love Margaret Lynch. She is so funny and personable, and her stuff really works. I've seen massive amounts of expansion and advancement in my life with the help of her work. So if you do these kind of things in preparation, then when this time period comes in November, it might be a little bit easier for you to get as much benefit from the transit as possible, which is what we want. So in summary, the themes for this month for Pisces have to do with your work, how you walk in the world, recognition, opportunities that involve international relations, including travel or teaching or Also anything spiritual or having to do with religion or church, and finances, your earnings, and getting help from other people. These are seen and unseen potentials. So guides that you can't see, people working behind the scenes on any dimension, people right out in front of you, resources that you can think of and resources that just come to you by synchronicity. So I hope that you can maximize all of the potentials for receiving the help that is around you with these beautiful, glorious transits in November. And now I want to go into a little bit more detail about the general energy that will absolutely be relevant for you as it's relevant for all signs. November is a very exciting month. I'm calling the theme of November for all signs advancement and ascension. There are lots of planetary energies moving through the sign of Sagittarius, and when this happens, there's an overall optimistic, awesome vibe that's lighthearted, it's fun, it's easygoing. It can be very productive as well, but it can be a little bit dizzying because it moves in a spiral, so it's kind of all over the place. So there's lots of expansion and fun to be had this month, and you'll feel the mood be quite elevated, especially compared to the recent months of eclipses and retrogrades. Speaking of retrogrades, November is the only month in all of 2016 where we don't have any days in the whole month in a personal planet retrograde or a shadow period of a personal planet retrograde. So we had some really good launch dates in October, but we've got even more awesome launch dates in November. Almost every day in the first week is amazing for anything that you want to do. Launches, good times, plans, outings, just overall good vibes. Almost every day of the first week has amazing transits. The 15th, the 19th, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 26th, the 29th. And you can feel these energies often in the days before and the days after. So the month is just completely full of amazing opportunities. When you sign up for my free email newsletter on my website, anniehelpsyou.com, you will get a written version of the good dates, the challenging dates, the overview of the month, every month, a month early, the same way that I do the horoscopes early. So, and you get other gifts for signing up too. So if you want more information or seeing in a written form the energies that are coming up, then definitely go to my website and do that. So Mars is also wrapping up its movement through Capricorn. Mars visits a sign every 2-ish years. So whenever it's bringing its movement and activity to a sign, we have a lot of opportunities to move forward in our lives. Mars is like the border collie of the zodiac. You know, if you've ever been around border collies, I always have had border collies my whole life, and they're busy. They're all over the place. And they can make you crazy, right? Because it's just such active energy, and they're strong and fast, you know, and that's the energy wherever Mars is in your chart and in the sign that it's in. So when Mars is in Capricorn, which it is for the first week of November, that's the end of its cycle there, you have amazing opportunities to wrap up business-related things, work, career, life purpose, things involving establishing your authority, things involving authority figures, anything having to do with father or father figures, or people who have played that role to you. As Mars moves into Aquarius, we've got a couple of months of movement along the fronts of everything Aquarian, including all internet-based projects, humanitarian efforts, anything involving groups or teams or leading groups or working with teams or large organizations or humanitarian efforts or friendships or social media. So you've got a lot of opportunity with Mars, especially for things along these lines. There are a couple of spots in the month that are a little bit, I call it dicey, you know, which means that the energies are a little bit challenging. I always think that the challenges give us more opportunities to advance and ascend, you know, so I have an optimistic way of looking even at the challenges. So on the days leading up to that 5th supermoon at 22 degrees of Taurus on November 14th, there could be some emotions. You know, full moons bring emotions. And speaking of dogs, full moons always remind me of how dogs shake off after they get wet, because emotional energy is represented by water energy. And so at the full moon, any energies that we have in our field that haven't been shaken off tend to get shaken off in the form of some sort of little drama, some sort of little upset, coming to fruition, coming to completion. Sometimes it's a really wonderful thing and there are tears of joy, but sometimes it's just stressful. So I often feel the full moon like 48 hours before it actually happens. That's why I say the days leading up to November 14th. Then by the time the full moon comes, I'm good. I'm done with my moment or whatever. So the fact that this is a supermoon, which means that the moon is actually closer to the earth, you can see it. It looks huge. It also increases the gravitational pull and effects on the earth. So anything involving water, like water coming where it shouldn't be, emotions coming where they shouldn't be, excess emotions, can definitely come up. There could be something around the energies of Taurus where it has to do with money or how you make money, your income, something of value, and figuring out things of values, just your values in general. Another very notable transit is a square between Jupiter and Pluto. Whenever we have an aspect between outer planets, which are the ones that take longer to move around, these times of coming together last longer. And so this first Jupiter-Pluto square is happening on November 24th, Thanksgiving. So that could bring some conflicts for people in the United States around our holiday, our Thanksgiving holiday. So look out for that. But this is the first of 3 squares. The second one is March 30th of 2017, and the last one is August 14th of 2017. So from November through August, there's a theme of Jupiter and Pluto coming together in a challenging aspect. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. It wants to expand and go broad. Pluto rules Scorpio, and it wants to contract in and go deep and get really focused and really deep. So when these energies that are kind of, they seem they're actually opposite, come together, it stops you from going too deep or too broad. But I see this as a positive thing because either of those energies in excess have their limitations. So I think that you can get the best of whatever you're working on by not letting your Jupiterian expansion get too big, too fast before you can manage it, and Pluto kind of keeping it in check, and not letting you go down into an abyss that Pluto tends to go down into too deep because Jupiter buoys it up. So you'll see this energy of kind of antagonistic forces at play throughout this time. And I'm calling it a little bit of a buzzkill energy because compared to the rest of the vibes of the month, it's a little bit annoying, but see it for what you can do with it. The last little touchy spot is on the last day of the month, which is November 30th. And that's when there's a challenging aspect with Neptune. So deception, self-esteem pings, confusion, insecurity can come up at that time. But don't let these things daunt you because the rest of the month is so amazing that it's like you can't let anything get you down. So if you would like to sign up for my free email newsletter, definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com. Definitely check out what's new on my blog. I have new things up there every month, and plus old stuff you can check out. And if you're interested in becoming a life coach, a business coach, I have a coach certification and online business training course that is enrolling in January, and you can get first dibs at the open slots if you email me on my website. Also, starting enrollment in January will be my astrology apprenticeship program and my Creating Successful Online Business program, which is part of the life coach program, but I also offer it separately. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.